This is the Tournament Temple City, which is the biggest Ninjago set of 2024, and in my opinion, definitely one of the best. Which means we've got a lot to get through today. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with the minifigures, we have Tournament Lloyd, Tournament Nia, Tournament Cole, Tournament Zane, Tournament Aaron, Tournament Wildfire, Jordana, Lord Roz, Roby, Blacksmith, Blecht, Temple Guard, and Mr. Pale, who is so great to finally see again in minifigure form. Moving on to the side builds, we have this okay nature dragon, though I do like how they've reused Ryu's head mold, and the fact that it can fit inside this cave is a nice touch too. There's also a mini hot air balloon, which is able to fit a minifigure inside. Now, we can finally take a look at the main build of this set, that being the Tournament Temple City itself. First of all, we have this docking bay, which actually has a working crane. There's also an archway next to it, which makes good use of the climbing hook pieces. And that leads to this red bridge, which actually looks amazing. There's also a boulder you can roll down it, though that doesn't seem to work that well. After you go up the bridge, you'll be met with this little hut, which has a really well designed balcony. And then as you move on from that, you'll find yourself in this courtyard, which definitely gives you a pretty generous amount of space. And I really appreciate that. Moving on, we can take a look at one of the best parts of this set, that being the temple. The exterior of this thing is just beautiful, and they use a great building technique for the tiling here, and the interior is fully open here at the back, which gives it so many more opportunities for play. Starting off with the first floor, there's a table with some flames and a trophy. And here's a closer look at that trophy, which I'm assuming is the prize for the Source Tournament. Moving up to the second floor, there's a small training area and 2 beds, which can each hold a minifigure as you can see here. Moving up to the third floor, there are these 2 posters. One seems to represent Roby, and the other seems like it could represent Blecht. Taking a look at the fourth floor, there isn't much, just a crown with some fire coming out of it. And finally, we have the top of the temple, which makes great use of the dragon head from the gimmick sets earlier this year. Moving on from the temple, we can take a look at the blacksmiths, which has a really cool play feature, where you turn this water mill, and it causes the hammer to strike the anvil. Just insane. There's also a brown climber armor included, which I never would have expected, but it's definitely a great inclusion. In the roof of the blacksmith, there are 2 collectibles. There's a micro figure for Korkai, which is very exciting, as that shows they're probably going to finish this collection. And a JZX trading card. Next to the blacksmith, there's a secret door which leads you to the cave, which is definitely very fun for play. Above the entrance to the cave, there are these stalactites, which fall when you press on this sculpture. On the other side, there's this stone wall, which actually pops off to reveal a hidden sword. And while it's definitely not the most interesting thing, it is still something. Finally, we can take a look inside the caves. There's a kebab being cooked over a fire, a trophy of sorts, and the secret entrance from the blacksmiths. Moving on to the other side of the cave, there's a bone on the floor, and on the walls, there's a drawing of what seems to be Cole's Titan Dragon Mech, and a statue of what looks like his mother Lily, which could suggest that this was her mech originally. But before we can finish the video, there is one more thing, and that is how this set connects to the Tournament Battle Arena, which released alongside the Tournament Temple City. To start, you remove these 2 bricks here, revealing these Technic holes, which you then connect the weapons rack onto, followed by the main arena. You then connect the drum like so, and the statue like so. Which leaves us with this, a massive living, breathing city, which is just so impressive, and definitely a breath of fresh air after all of the big Ninjago sets have been part of its city line. Overall, this is definitely an amazing set. There's a great minifigure selection, and the build is just fantastic. But is it the best of the year? Well, to know that, you'll just have to stay tuned for the next one.